Are you Adam?
I can take it to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, we can try quicker to go out this way. His office is right on the corner here.
Okay.
Starting your day or ending it?
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
You still got your 10 hours?
I work until 6 p.m. We work 12-hour shifts.
And then we'll go in.
Thank you.
The doors and you're right to the. Oh, there you go.
Are you Adam?
Hey, yes, I'm Adam.
I'm Officer Howell, Cross
Nice
Police.
to meet you. Come on in. This is Margie Frazier. She's the director,
Alright, thank
director
you.
of Residence Life.
It's actually Krogman. I'm just the
I'm
married
sorry.
friend.
So what's going on?
Oh, well.
Have a seat, make yourself. I'm just going to call the vice president who wants to come over too.
Oh, okay.
Adam.
I got Officer Howell in my office if you want to stop over.
Sure, thanks.
Get back.
Sorry to bother you on a Sunday morning.
Say what?
Sorry to bother you on a Sunday morning.
Oh no, it's not my Sunday. It's my Friday.
Oh.
Sorry to bother you on a Friday
Sorry to bother you on
morning.
your Friday I can give you a little rundown.
Yeah, what's going on?
So last night, we had a fire in this building on the second floor in the lounge.
Okay.
It's about 2:15 when that occurred. It was kind of a busy night here. We had an ambulance here, they were getting a student out, and then my security officer noticed the strobes going off. He responded over here, people were evacuating. There was a trash can on fire in the lounge. Caused quite a bit of damage. He had to use a fire extinguisher to put it out. He said there's about 3-foot flames coming out of it when we got there. Lacrosse Fire had responded. They checked it out, and they kind of thought it was somebody had burnt something on a stove and then dumped it in there and started it on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of had, it didn't sit right with me this morning. We've had a bunch of, you've been watching the news. We've had all this hate bias incidents and stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Whitney and Nick have been helping us. Well, I thought I'm going to check this out because we've had parents calling all morning. They're upset that
Worried that it's a hate crime.
that it's hate crime, somebody's trying to kill their kids or whatever. So I came in this morning, and where are we at here? So these are my cameras on the floor. I got 2 of them in that hallway. And they're motion activated from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So unless somebody moves and trips them,
Okay.
there won't be any. So our RAs, let's see, this is our RA, Alicia Mueller, and I'm going to show you both cameras yet. And I should draw you a little map, and I'll take you down later. But this floor,
It's shaped like an L,
it's like shaped like an L.
so the lounge is directly above us.
So the building sits like this. And the lounge is right above us.
Mm-hmm.
Here. And the bathroom is like right here, kind of like this. Then there's this hallway right here.
Okay.
So the RA,
2 bathroom doors.
yep, and there's 2 bathroom doors, one here and one here. So this RA just came up this door, and we're gonna go down the hall right here and go in the bathroom.
So the lounge is behind us from this camera view?
Yep, it's behind us. It'll be right here.
Okay.
Right here. It'll be right here.
And where's the other camera on your map?
It's right behind us. So there's one camera. They're almost side by side. I've got one camera right here and another one right about there. So this one's shooting this way. I'm sorry, this one's going to be back here because it catches this door, and this one is shooting down the hall this way.
Okay. So the fire was behind both cameras.
You can
Fire
see the
is gonna
lounge
be-
door on the other camera.
right here, around that corner.
How you doing?
Hello, Monster Holocaust Police.
Hey, Rick.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good.
Thanks for coming in. Wish it was under better circumstances.
Mhm.
You probably hear that all the time.
Yeah.
So she went in that door, and I want to show you this. This is her leaving at 2:09:31, okay, in the morning. We're going to watch this just a little bit. The student comes out. Goes to the lounge. I'm going to go to the other camera. I talked to that RA this morning. She said when she walked by, there was nobody in that lounge when she went by.
Mm-hmm.
This is the door to the lounge right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's our RA going by. That's the student coming from her room. She's going to leave from there and go down to the bathrooms now.
What time was that she left the lounge?
2:10. So she was in there till
She was in there for like a minute, right?
1 minute. Now she's going to come back at 2:11. About a minute later, she comes back. She leaves at 2:12:01. And at 2:14, she's running in there. Because she told my officer she smelled smoke from her room that morning.
And that goes post the fire alarm.
And then she goes and she activates fire alarms.
Well, first she knocks on the RA's door, then she knocks on her best friend's door, then she pulls the fire alarm.
What's the history with this girl, Ed?
You need to,
So, she has been the target of the racial incidents you've probably heard about.
Was she the one that had stuff written on her door?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with that situation then.
okay.
Is she trying to claim that... Has she made any claims this morning?
We haven't talked to her yet.
She's been texting another black student, it sounds like. And so there's another black student who went home about like 4 days ago. And she immediately texted that black student and was like, it happened again, it was right next to my door, they set a fire.
Okay.
I don't have those.
Is she here right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You want to watch just the next couple clips here at all? I mean,
What are the next couple clips?
they're just students leaving, but they're obviously you'll see the smoke after a little bit and stuff. And my guy comes up and security Adam. Good. How you doing? I've got Officer Howell with me right now in my office. Yep, I'm in my big office at the Hawk's Nest. Sounds good. Thanks. Bye. Steve Cash is on his way over.
Who's Steve Cash?
He's a fire inspector.
Okay. So, let me write down the times of this whole thing then.
Yep, let's go through it.
So, what time does the RA walk by and know that no one's in the lounge?
It's gonna be
Is there a door to the lounge?
right here.
The RA doesn't open the door.
It
Oh,
was
it's open. You
and
can
the
see
lights were
the
on.
door jam and the lights are on in there.
Okay.
And we can, she went back to sleep, but she'd be willing to come down and talk to you.
The RA?
Yep. So she walks by at exactly 2:09:04.
Is there a camera number for that
This is going to
camera?
be camera server 2, and it's going to be camera number 54.
And what's the other camera number?
It's going to be, and I'll go back to that one because we'll need those times next. It's going to be camera server 1. It's going to be number 10.
They're both on separate servers.
Yep.
And are the servers completely, perfectly synced up with each other on times?
Yes.
Okay, good. That makes
Yep.
things better.
Everything's-
I spent like 45 minutes testifying in court as to why.
You're off for an hour, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
2 different servers in one building that were like a few minutes apart. And
We use Salient. It used to be Convergent. What's their names now? It's a place out of Sun Prairie does all our camera. So
are these new cameras?
these 2 are. We just put them in because of all these problems we've had.
Yeah. Does this girl not know about the cameras or what?
Well, I told her. So here's the other thing. I told her that we put one up after they moved her over to this hall, but we only had it facing her door.
Which
Okay.
is true at the time.
Well, it was true at the time. I only had it on her door. Well, then we had that incident last week, Monday, and she was up in the morning, but that happened inside the bathroom instead of the writing on the door on her door like it has been.
Okay.
So we added another camera after that incident onto the floor.
But I don't think she realizes that we added one, and that now I changed it so it's covering the whole hallway.
Yeah.
I didn't tell her that.
But I think that's important. She probably thought it was just on her door and wouldn't pick her up going in there.
Right, I did not send a communication to the floor after we put an additional camera up. I had sent a communication prior to the 3rd hate crime that said additional cameras were going to be installed in all buildings by the end of the
Yeah.
semester.
And the students have been demanding that,
Yes.
so that you did that second camera in response to their demand.
Adam, what's your middle initial?
It's going to be Emma's and Mary.
Okay.
Holy crap, do you know that now? Wow.
So according to what you had told her earlier, she was only aware of the camera on her door, not the camera on the lounge.
Yep.
Okay.
And the camera can still see her door.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah,
This
so,
is her door right
you know,
here. So
We wanted to make sure we kept
after the
surveillance there.
students were up in arms, I just moved them the other day and added the one, but I didn't tell her anything.
Okay.
So this is the RA, Alicia. She's gonna exit at about
So the,
20906. She's gonna exit the floor.
so she's going into a door to exit the floor?
Stairwell door.
The stairwell door. Yep.
Yeah.
She came up that same door. And I'll take you for a walk too.
No, I thought, from watching the video, I thought that was the RA's room.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. That's actually a stairwell door.
And now I can see the exit sign above
So
it.
she's doing
Final round.
final.
So
rounds.
RA walks by at 20904, then enters the stairwell at 20906.
Yep. Door opens. Stairwell door opens.
What's this student's name?
That one.
No, the
Victoria.
suspect.
Unanka.
Unanka.
A-N-A.
UNA.
No.
U-N-A-N-K-A.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spell it one more time.
U-N-A-N-K-A.
Okay. So then Veronica leaves her room at what time?
Victoria is going to leave.
Yeah, Victoria, sorry.
She's out in the hallway at 209:19.
And she looks over
And
at
you
the
can see she's
stairwell.
looking to make at the stairwell door.
And I think our students are pretty well aware of the RA's routines
Yeah.
and that they do this final walkthrough and then they're off shift. So I believe she's waiting for that to occur before she comes out.
Let's go back, I'll go back to the other server now so we get that next time. That's gonna be- Can you, grab cash for me there?
Hi there. I'm well, how are you?
Two, we have four.
We have Adam in here as well as the train, who's our vice president.
How are you?
Hey, good, how you doing?
Good.
How are you? How you doing?
I'm living the dream, sir.
Have a seat, make yourself at home.
Absolutely.
So then at. Now, Victoria's door, this is a closet. Victoria's the next door about right here is her room.
Okay.
So there is Victoria at 2:09:25 entering the lounge.
Victoria's last name?
Unanka.
Unanka.
Unanka. Unanka.
She came in at what time?
She went into the lounge at 2:09 and 25 seconds. So she's leaving at 2:10 and 21 seconds. I'm gonna go back because now she goes to the bathroom. So now she left the lounge. She goes down to the restroom at about 2:10:29. She's going to return from the restroom. That's going to be at 2:11:07. Back to the lounge. Back to the lounge.
11:27, you said?
2:11:07. She returns back to the lounge from the restroom. She enters her lounge at 2:11:13. At 2:12:01, she's leaving the lounge. And she's, I think this is the time, let me double check. She returns to her room then. Yep, returns to her room at 2:12:04.
What room number is that?
15, I think.
Yes, I believe that's 2:15. We will verify that.
I'll
but I believe-
verify it for you right now.
I believe it's 2:15. At 2:14:06, she comes out. You kind of see the camera's gotten hazy here up in the right corner.
Yeah.
We got something going on.
Yeah.
Okay? She comes out and looks around.
Conspiracy stuff right there.
You have no idea.
You have no idea what we've been through.
Probably called her Zabe.
Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the other one so you can watch. So we're at. So there she goes running in there at 2:14:12. She's knocking on her RA's door now.
And she pulls the alarm right here too,
In a
right?
little bit. So she goes down to get her best friend, okay? She's knocking on, that'd be Claire.
What's Claire's last name?
Potential? Let me find it for you really quick.
So she knocked on the RA's door and then went to get her.
Friends.
There she comes again.
And, so the RA isn't her friend that she got?
No.
I think the RA is actually off campus last night.
Yeah,
Claire's
okay.
last name is HENSCHEL.
Her name's Claire.
Steve, I need to add for you too. I told Officer Halbert. My cameras right now are in activation mode only from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So somebody has to trigger them for them to record. There has to be an event.
Yep.
So you see, these are getting triggered, and there's nobody else moving up there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
Claire, what's her middle initial? Do you have it?
I can figure that out for you quite quickly, I believe.
Yeah. And
It's M, and her
You actually made contact with Claire?
yes.
Yes.
Well, Claire comes out of the room.
what time was that?
You'll see all the students start to come out
let's see here.
because she's going to pull the fire alarm right now.
Okay. And
Yeah,
what
she's actually pulling the alarm over here now.
Yeah.
Because there it got tripped.
do you have?
So she pulled the alarm at what time?
Let's go to the other one. 2:15.
That's her friend right there.
Yeah, that's Claire right there.
Yeah.
What time is that?
2:15:17.
And this is when the time of this, what's happening right now that we recorded the time?
Just Claire came down the hallway and met with her. That was the girl she was knocking on.
Go with that time one more time, 2:15.
17.
Claire comes out.
I'm gonna go back. Let's check what time she pulled this. She pulled that at 2:15:01.
That's number 10.
Yep, that's number 10. Pulled the alarm at 2:15:01.
Number 10 is.
The camera on the server.
Okay. Then what's Victoria's middle initial in DOE?
Yeah, 1 second.
And just to back up since you weren't here yet, at 2:09, I can get the times here a little bit.
Here you go.
I have the times. What times are we looking for?
I was just gonna give him that info beginning there.
Victoria's middle initial is C, as in cat, and her date of birth.
Let's look way more well written than mine.
Yeah.
Well, spent a lot of time taking notes, man.
At 2:09 a.m., we had an RA who was doing her rounds that entered the floor. She went in the bathroom door. The RA comes up, goes in the bathroom door, and comes out the other bathroom door in the other hallway. Walks by that lounge. Alicia told me this morning, just glanced in there, I didn't see anybody in there, I didn't see anything going on, didn't hear nothing.
So here's what I want.
Yep.
I want to know when was the last time anybody left the lounge before the RA walked by and noted no one was in there.
Okay.
Last person in the lounge prior to all this. That'd be very telling if it was several hours earlier.
Mary, where is it? 54?
Yeah, the RAs both said it was an incredibly quiet night in the building. The whole time they were on duty.
Is everything still in the lounge from the fire yet?
I
Yeah, but it was
I
cleaned
believe
up.
that they took the trash can. I think that the trash can has been replaced.
You know,
Where is that right now?
I do not know. I don't know.
I would like to have that found if possible.
we will find that. So she was with another guy last night too up there at 129.
Who is that? Claire? Or it was Victoria. Victoria's wearing the blue, right?
She's got that blue, yeah.
Like, yeah, tie-dye
There
blue.
she is
thing.
walking in the hallway. Walking by again. Another student. Another student.
All of these clips that you're showing me right now, I think we're gonna need all of this.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm at 12:34 and I haven't had anybody go in or out that door yet.
Okay, let's keep going. Were the police here last night with the fire department
That
at all?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think
No.
the police only were on campus last night.
So
for-
where did we get this statement from that she said that she smelled smoke? That must have been from a firefighter.
She told my security officer last night that she smelled smoke in her room.
Okay.
Her door cracked.
We can give you that incident report as well.
Yes.
We will.
Yep.
Yeah.
No one's still been in the lounge.
We're back to almost midnight.
And you know where the
There we go. All right.
12:06:10, and that was the other other
Riley. So that was the last.
before
So the last time anyone had been in the lounge
was our other RA Riley.
Can you give me Riley's name?
Yep. Last name. Oh, I should know that.
Mr. W.
It's Weineke, I think. But, so Riley's name is Riley. Middle initial is G. Last name is Wienke. Date of birth.
Riley was the last person in there before, besides Victoria. Riley was in there 2 hours before the fire.
And there was no one else in between there.
Nobody else goes in that door.
So this all comes down to what Victoria's statement is going to be
Yep.
about. Maybe she'll tell us that she was trying to sleep and she smelled smoke and she had never been in the lounge.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty concrete.
What was before the RA even, what was the next person back for timeline?
Before her,
Yeah.
So that's a video of the RA entering the lounge. I'm assuming she peeks in and then leaves. Can I just see that real quick?
absolutely. I think I get back.
It's like 12:06. If that's helpful.
12:06:10 was when
Yep,
she
see,
enters
walks in.
and immediately walks out. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to know, and then the contents of the wastebasket, was there anything done with that? Because if there's contents to it, I'd like that as well.
Okay.
And in the incident report our security officers wrote, you'll see that the fire officers on scene last night initially thought it was probably caused by hot food being thrown in the trash basket.
Yeah, that's disproven at this point.
Exactly. So, but they did
Daryl,
mention
you give me
in
that
that
favor?
trash can there was some food.
Call Caleb and ask him where that trash can
Yep.
from last
It
night.
Which is
said-
why they thought it.
Charred peas
Okay.
and hold on, where did it
Yep.
go?
The one that was on fire. Thank you.
Charred peas and carrots. I will print a copy of this report for y'all.
Yeah,
I can do
if
that
I
from
could
my
get
phone.
copies of that.
Yeah, I think I can do that from my phone. Or if you just want to do you want to hit print on the report to this printer and I'll just grab it?
Sure.
All right, so I'm just going to run over who's all in attendance at this meeting right now.
Absolutely.
Your name was Steve?
Rick.
Rick, sorry.
It's gonna give you my card, it'll be the easiest thing, right?
And what was your position here?
I'm the executive vice president for student success. So, Adams Security Department falls under my responsibilities. residence halls.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Yes, Margie. It working?
Rick, what's your date? And her name?
Margie,
Can you spell your first name?
It's Margy.
What's your position here?
I'm the director of residence life.
Margy. Middle initial?
C.
What was your last name again?
Krogman, Krogman.
And your date of birth?
I
Okay,
can print it from my phone.
thank you.
I don't know why it's hooked
I
up,
get
so
your
it's ready.
Yeah, one.
That is a Hawks nest on paper cut too, right?
Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have a case number for the fire this morning?
I'd have to go back and look. I haven't even pulled up our incident report, and I can email that to you.
Well, I can get it from dispatch. I just didn't. They didn't put it in my. They sent me here on a follow-up, but didn't give me the call. They just said that you had a suspect of arson. That's all I had coming into this. So that's the incident report written by your security officer.
Last night, I'm trying to get it to print so you can have the copy. Or did you try?
Yeah,
I don't know why it's
my
not
web
working.
print isn't loading.
My mobile number on it. So it's a 769.
Oh, thank you. Did you have to correct all of those by hand?
Yeah, well,
Then they're done.
I got all my new cards, but we haven't replaced them. I put them
Oh,
together.
sure.
It's one of those that I only pull out occasionally, and I forget it's in there.
Are you able to print those back there?
Yeah, let me go.
For some reason, it's not.
No, it's all good. It'll take me a couple minutes, but
I'll
I'll.
print a couple copies of it.
Adam, do we know which facilities guy was called in last night to clean up the line?
I do not.
I know someone, the guy on duty was, so we can find out where he put the trash bag.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him and see what he saw too, and what was in there, and
Yeah.
because a lot of it's going to depend on the contents of what's in there.
Sure.
So that second RA. So the first RA was Riley, who checked the room, checked the lounge at 12:06. The second RA, who last checked the lounge at 2:09. What's her name?
Alicia Mueller. Mueller?
Like Mueller.
Yeah. And Margie will have her info.
Okay.
her date of birth.
All right.
And the video that shows Victoria coming in and out prior to the fire, is there anything that she was carrying or holding that can be identified?
It didn't look like it. Not that I saw. I guess I wasn't up to the screen. Like,
If you
should
want,
really slowly study that to see if she's holding anything at all, or bulges in her clothing.
probably better off.
very fortunate. I mean, this thing's 3 to 4 foot high flames.
Yeah,
It was, wow.
talking to the shift commander that was incident commander on that last night, he briefed me this morning when I came in, and he said it didn't get hot enough, but there was a sprinkler that raised all of it, which would have been helpful, so.
Yeah, our security officer was very quick to action, the fire extinguishers, but he used 2 of them. But that film footage, and you guys.
Hey Dennis, it's Adam calling this morning for game safety.
Yeah, I'll need,
Good, did you respond in here last night for that
pretty
fire?
much will need a statement from maintenance.
Where did that trash
security
can go
officer,
to?
all their reports and, or a
That
statement.
incident report we're printing has the security officers report.
Yeah,
I wanna get a written statement from the maintenance guy, what he saw, when he cleaned up and,
That might be him on the phone.
or,
in the cage. Okay, what kind of bag, was it in a black bag or? Okay,
Hey, Adam.
we do have
Yeah.
a shared file on the old drive
Okay.
for you guys and us.
Dennis, I guess the fire department, police department's gonna need a statement from you. Are you able to come to work? Yeah, they're gonna need to talk to you. Alright? No, some other things have happened and we've started an investigation here, so. How long before you're in? Sounds good. We'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, Dennis. Bye. He's coming in. He says it's in the dumpster out behind McDonald's in a black bag on the right.
McDonald's.
It's another res hall we have. McDonald Terrace.
Oh,
From Romney
okay.
Street.
I thought he had taken the trash and thrown it away,
McDonald's,
like
I'm
on his
sorry.
way
I'm
home.
thinking too, and I'm like,
I was like, that is
walk.
kind of suspicious in
That's weird.
itself.
Um,
So here we go.
so this is her coming out, Steve. Looks like both hands are open. Come on over if you want this.
I don't see a bag or
No.
bulges in her clothing. It's nice that she's wearing a face mask even though she's completely alone on the floor.
Yeah, it's a requirement in all of our buildings still,
Let's go to the next one.
if they're out of their rooms.
So now she's to the bathroom.
So to the
Just a
bathroom.
little context here, we had an incident last Monday involving this young lady, she was a targeted victim of a race message.
Okay.
It occurred in the bathroom.
This bathroom right here.
Okay.
It was written on the bathroom door, so our suspicion is she's going to the bathroom right now to check to make sure no one's in there before she comes back.
The other thing that happened, I told Officer Howell, is when she got moved from Bonaventure to Marion Hall, we put this camera was only facing her door, and she requested there was a camera and this and that. I didn't tell her I put the other one up there and moved them this week so that they covered the hallway after that this last Monday's incident. So she doesn't know that. Oh.
She's a good student, no problem.
Yes,
Whatever
good.
issues or anything.
Just a freshman.
Sounded
Yours
like there
won't
was
either.
some drama with
Okay.
her being moved,
Sounds good.
like rooms, and she didn't like the fact that she had been moved. I talked to the officers that investigated the hate crime with stuff written on her door, and based on their investigation, they believe her to be the suspect of that,
Oh.
of that hate crime
So
that was in the news.
the first two messages of hate were written on her room door in a different building next to us, Bonaventure. The third one was on her new floor in the bathroom, but she knew there was a camera on her door in this hall.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it ended up inside the bathroom Monday morning when I got here. And she was the only one I had on video.
And I just want to remind everybody going forward that I am recording all of this conversation.
Nope.
So just be careful what you say with your opinions and whatnot. But the officers who investigated that incident told me that they believed she is the suspect of that hate crime.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, and they're well aware, we also have forensic handwriting analysis going on those hate messages.
Okay,
But it's gonna take some time.
Couple
yet.
weeks.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
So, is she on her way into the lounge right now?
Right now.
And this is right before.
Let's see that other angle of her entering the lounge to see if we can see any bulges in her. Does it look like maybe she's... Maybe the peas were already in the trash and then just her setting the fire would have charred the peas in there.
Well, and then what I can do is I'll get,
It's gonna be this one. Yeah.
can't clearly tell.
Yeah, we can watch that frame by frame. It almost looks like, I know we're investigating an arson, a possible arson, but it almost looks like a lighter.
Let's go back.
It looks like it would be consistent with a lighter.
Do we know if she a smoker?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, you can't tell me. There's also something.
It's like right there, isn't there? Possibly.
I mean, I think she's holding something. But what is, I needed some more information from you real
Sure.
quick. The second RA, the
yep.
one that last checked the lounge.
Yeah, my first name is Alicia.
How do you spell Alicia?
It's Aleischa.
And her middle initial?
I'm pretty sure it's M. Let me confirm that for you.
And her date of birth.
What's that?
When she comes out of the lounge, watch this. This is interesting. She's got her finger up in her like.
Like she burned herself?
Yeah. Doesn't it make you think she was holding something? Maybe burnt her fingers.
She's like,
See that?
Could be, yeah.
Hi, Kirsten. I'm sorry. I'm staying, please. Can I give you a call back in like 5 minutes?
another thing is that she's now nervous. You know,
Yeah, she
Yep,
could
that's
be.
great. I already
like,
touched it.
gotta get back to my room, can't get caught.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
What was Alicia's spelling of it?
Oh.
It's Aleisc. Nope, not the C. SHA. I apologize. Middle initial is M. Last name is Mueller. Mueller. Date of birth.
Eisha.
That's correct.
Okay.
No, that's when she's like, oh, there's a fire. That's-
Fire?
That's her leaving the lounge the last time.
Is that a haze up in the, already?
Yeah, you can see it already. You can see the haze on the camera already.
It wasn't there prior.
See? Then you get on this one, and you got a little bit of something kind of starting.
Yeah, hard to tell.
That's her running to the lounge. Do you have a jump drive?
Are you able to upload these? I
What
do have one, yes.
What
But
what I
well-
do is I'm gonna upload them all so they're at least on this. But I'm thinking this much material probably.
how much data are we talking about?
Oof, that's what I'm worried about.
I know. We also have
I have a big portable hard drive in my office at City Hall.
Okay.
I can come back, can you hang on to those till tomorrow?
Well, what I'm gonna do is at least make a copy of them and export them to that, so if something happens, we have a backup on
Cause
it.
I can come in and bring my hard drive in and
it's 16 gigabytes.
Oof.
Yeah, my hard drive is like 560
We probably gonna need
gigabytes.
something that big.
And then I can upload it to our old drive with a shared file that we have with you guys,
Okay.
if that'll work for you.
Yeah, and then once that's done, I wonder if I can transfer them to CD to be put into evidence. I'm just trying to think of how I'm going to save this all into evidence.
Unless
We have
get
a
a
new all into evidence.
Unless
We
get
have
a
a new system now, brand new system with our body cameras where citizens can upload their own videos to our body camera network for evidence. I'm just wondering how long that would take to upload all of this. If I gave you a link, how long that would take to upload all of this video to our body camera system.
Okay.
That would be the ultimately best
The
way
best
to
way
preserve
to
it.
do it so we can preserve it. You
Oh.
want to give me that link and I'll try. I'll
Yes.
try to do that. I think we get that. We'll call Ed and have him come in and start.
Come help you.
Come help me. Yeah.
$294. Do you have an original case number for this fire I should be using for this arson?
Potential hate crime incidents.
One of the total that we're doing handwriting analysis on.
Because you said that the first, before she was moved, there were 2 on her door,
Yes.
and then now 1 in the bathroom.
Yes.
So that was 3 separate incidents that she was somehow involved
She
in.
was the target.
Is 15001 the follow-up number or the actual
Police have
case?
an investigation on that, they should be able to access it, sounds like.
Yeah, we can get the reports.
Like, they've got photos.
Yeah, I can reach out to the lead investigator. You don't have to know offhand who the lead investigator was.
Yeah.
It's Officer Hughes and Officer Redan.
Yeah. That's going to be Whitney Hughes. We have 2 different Hugheses.
Okay. No, that's who I was thinking. That's what you mean.
Whitney Hughes and Nicholas Redant.
Would it be helpful for you to go up and see the lounge?
Yes, I want to capture some pictures.
And then get a better feel for where all these rooms line up to in relationship?
Yeah, I'll do that. When we get the bag,
Okay.
don't open it, disturb it anymore. When we get in, I'll take a look. Maybe I'm gonna call,
Do you want?
I'll call a rescue, maybe get a PID here to see if we get any potential hits for VOCs with possible accelerants.
Okay.
If that's the case, then we're gonna wanna capture it for evidence.
Okay.
1960.
Now.
I'm just going to call my dispatcher.
Do that.
So,
You wanna go up?
to talk to her.
Or go up
Do you want
and just
to
look
see
at
the
the
lounge?
scene?
Yeah, I want to handle this delicately. I
Yeah.
want Victoria to not think that this is a big deal.
Right.
Like, I don't want her to think that we're dedicating a whole bunch of resources to this right now.
Yep.
Like we're investigating an arson.
Right.
I want to approach this with her as in taking her statement on this hate crime
Okay.
to see what she'll tell me about being a victim of a hate crime.
Okay. If she's up there, would you like me to just knock and say, the police are here, we're just worried that it's connected with you again, and they would love to just hear what's been going on?
I'd like to go up with you.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
just
Would you
the
like
two of
to
us?
wait? Or how about I take him up and then I'll come back and get you? Does that sound
I'll go up and get
appropriate?
pictures of the scene and
Okay.
everything where
So
we're at
we'll do
right
fire
now.
and then
Yeah.
police. Okay,
Yep.
sounds good. Let's start that way.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Leave my notebook.
Mm-hmm. 94 to 39. Is there a place I can give you a call? Hey Sarge, I want to run this situation by you to see how you want us to approach this. So at Viterbo here, That is the hall where Victoria Unanka lives. She was the victim of the hate crime where messages were written on her door. Are you familiar with that situation and her? Officer Redant and Hughes, they did their investigation and they thought that she was probably the most likely suspect of this. So today we have video of her entering the lounge where this fire started. And she was the only person in the lounge for like over 2 hours before this fire started. And she's already messaged a friend saying that she feels like she's the target of another hate crime that somebody started a fire. The fire, is that the fire chief?
Division Chief.
The division, I got Division Chief Stephen Cash here with the FD investigating the arson with me. I was going to go interview Victoria as to her statement of being a victim of a hate crime. I don't know if you want an investigator on this or not, because it's kind of higher profile.
Yeah. I don't have any.
Would he be filing charges of like falsifying a police report though? But if she's gonna claim that had never been in the lounge and that she was woken up by smoke, she told the nighttime security guard that she was one who discovered the fire too. She told the nighttime security guard that she smelled smoke in her room and she went and investigated and found the lounge on fire, so she pulled the fire alarm. And then she messaged her friend to say that she was a victim again. Yeah, so the video at 12:06, if you can try to keep mental note of this to know the timeline. At 12:06, a resident advisor checked the lounge and reported no issues. At 2:15, so over 2 hours later, that's when the fire alarm was pulled. So then looking at the video directly before the fire alarm was pulled, an RA checked the lounge at 2:09, a different one. And then after that, Victoria goes in there right after the RA. She goes in there twice and then goes to her room and immediately comes out and frantic and pulls the alarm. So the only people that had been in that lounge prior to Victoria pulling the alarm are the two RAs during the previous 2 hours. Yeah. Or should I have her, like, based on... No, it's, it looks like the division chief here, he's obtaining the trash, and he's going to be investigating and taking a look at the evidentiary value of the trash itself. But they had originally thought that it was a fire caused by someone dumping burning food in there. So, I mean, there's strong indications that it's an arson. And yeah. Do you want me to have her fill out a statement form before I reveal to her that we know that she's lying? Yeah, well, I'm just trying to say that if she was going to try to lie about this, I want to charge her with falsifying a police report.
Isn't that crazy?
He did. Yeah, I got
We saved us.
Okay.
On that.
Yeah, will do. All right, thank you.
Springfield said.
Yeah, bye. Where'd Maggie go?
Margie, she
Margie.
took Steve Cook.
Okay. I need to get a hold of these two RAs and interview them first.
Absolutely. I hear it coming now.
And what's the name of the security officer last night?
Caleb.
Caleb?
Yep. Kaleb. And Peterson. Peterson.
You don't have a middle initial with date of
Right
birth?
now, he's actually at an interview with Minnesota State Patrol right now.
Oh, okay.
I just tried calling him. He's got his phone off. So. How long would you like me? I'm up to 2:42 a.m. You want me to do like 3 o'clock?
Yeah. If we could get everything between midnight and 3 a.m.
Okay.
Didn't see anything
Nothing that sticks out, okay.
sticks out or anything. I think it's gonna be more looking at their documents.
What do you got for the security officer's name? Do you have that info?
The security officer's name is Caleb, did you say?
Well, the middle initial and date of
I don't
birth.
have information.
Okay,
We can get that for you, but might have to wait till HR tomorrow.
I hear you.
Yeah, I can email you with that.
Hey, could you come back on? The police are here and they'd love to just hear your story.
Unless you put it on.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
I
See
don't
you
think it does. Needs Caleb's.
soon. Bye.
We can try him after a little bit. He was in an interview.
Do you want to talk with both RAs or just the one that was on the floor? Both? Okay.
Because they were both on the floor.
Yeah.
So-
Did you just, was that Victoria that you just talked to?
I just talked to Alicia.
Okay.
Now I'm calling Riley.
Okay, yeah, let's wait for Victoria. I want to talk to, so Alicia and Riley can be in here? Oh, awesome.
Hi, would you mind coming back down to talk to the police really quick? Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Bye. Great, you're both on your way.
Do you want to speak with them by yourself?
Oh, you guys can sit in here.
Well, I'm going to go out just a little
Yeah.
bit too. Intimidated.
I just want to speak to them separately.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yep. All right, so once you're done interviewing Victoria, just call me, I'll come back over.
Okay.
I'll give you a call. All right, guys, thank you. Need anything?
No.
Coffee, food?
No, we're good, thank you.
Good, thank you very much.
Order in.
You good? See you guys.
It'll be interesting to hear Victoria's statement. with a 2-minute lapse. Because if she was in there, smelled it, and it was something that would stay smoldering for a while,
Yeah.
you'd think you would have addressed it much sooner, so.
I don't want to call her out on her. Anything that she says that we know is a lie, I don't want to call her out on it right away.
No.
And I want to have her fill out a statement form for her first statement. And then after she fills out that statement form, we will reveal some of the areas where we know she's not being truthful and see how she changes her statement.
Are you guys on second, Adam?
We're at my office, Dennis. That's gonna be the next guy. Hi, thanks for coming in. No problem.
Hi.
Hey, Dennis, it's gonna be the maintenance person coming last night.
Oh, you came in?
Yep.
Dennis, can I get your middle initial?
That's G. That's
Last name?
Oscar, S-T-A-D.
Date of birth? Okay, Dennis. So when you got called in, clean up, I guess what I'd like to know is what did you see? What were your observations with the fire material? What was done with it? How was it handled?
I took some pictures before I started cleaning up.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be very helpful.
Can I send you a link to upload those pictures to our... Would you prefer email or phone? Phone number. A text message, sorry. Email or a text message?
Text would be fine.
Dennis, if you have problems with that, I'm gonna have to upload some stuff anyways.
I'm going to send one to each of you.
And then I could probably help you with that, okay?
Yeah. Dennis, what's the...
Yes, it is.
Well, and what I'll do too is I'll take a look at them. If you could either text or email me these photos as well.
I think I got 4, maybe.
It's Dennis. What was your middle initial
G, as in Gary,
and last name?
Molstad, M-O-L-S-T-A-D.
So is this the receptacle in this photo right here that was involved? Or what is that?
That was still warm when I got here. I believe that was what was on fire inside the garbage can. And the garbage can is in another picture laying to the right of that.
So this isn't a garbage can that was on fire.
Well,
What is this?
Is it like the little blue recycling
there was
bin?
the stuff that was in the garbage can.
Oh.
I believe, I wasn't there when he put the fire out.
No.
Caleb put the fire out.
What's your date of
Before the
birth?
fire department even got there. And then the fire department was still
What's his date of
there.
birth?
Okay, the fire
No, we haven't gone in.
Just dump it
So.
in there, I'll go get it.
a big bag.
That's okay, I'm strong.
So that dumpster behind
You
you,
want
Can I download them?
I want
it's on
everything
the right on the
that's
top of the big
thrown
black
out.
bag.
Perfect, I'll go grab it.
Because I want to take a look
Do
at
you
it.
want me to go with her?
Yeah, if you would.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure everything's
Let me
preserved.
grab some gloves, Margie.
Make sure it's all preserved properly. We'll want to take a look at that. So that was in the can.
I believe so.
Okay.
It was
And I-
like that when I got there, so.
Gotcha.
I just sent a link.
The can normally sits right here against this stone. So that's why I'm assuming it was in the can. the garbage can,
I think
felt,
it
was
in
laying down over
the,
here.
it was in
and
the previous picture, yeah.
was right here, see that? And then I think he said the flames were pretty high.
Yeah.
And I believe that he might have dumped it out after he got it suppressed a little bit, because that was still warm when I got there, actually.
So that melted this here,
Some of that plastic.
he said was sitting in the garbage can, that was tipped over and that item was over there.
Right. And I believe
Because the can that's up there now is still the same can that was there at the
it
fire.
is. I just put a different bag in it. The bag was actually partially melted on the garbage can, so that had been exposed to some fire,
Okay, so whatever was on top of it was the item that was involved.
I believe so.
So that's what I'm gonna need to look at.
I just sent that link to you. Could you try to upload those pictures to it?
You just send me via text or email, that's fine. My mobile number is the one that's written on there. And then it's got an email. Notice anything, smell anything that seemed kind of out of the ordinary, or notice something that really seemed odd that maybe shouldn't have belonged there?
The primary prevalent smell, I think, was the vinyl baseboard that was burning, that had burned because it melted plastic on the carpet. I don't know what fires normally smell like, but it filled the room, and he had that fire extinguisher suppressant was all over the room, and I vacuumed some of that up.
But when we get the items back from the dumpster, what I think I'm gonna wanna do is recreate where you found everything up there, and I'd like to place everything back. That's the best of your recollection on how you found it.
Okay.
And then I might just call it the shift command, or talk to our shift commander and see what our guys found. And talk to the security officers, kind of piece it back together on what was where, when it was, where they found it.
Mm-hmm.
So that might give a better picture.
Sorry.
No, that's
Just
fine.
have to upload and I went to it.
So Adam, I think what we'll do,
I didn't open it either, Steve.
no, what I think we'll do is maybe carry it back up there here shortly and kind of recreate what he found, how he found it,
Okay.
best of his recollection. You know, I want to get some pictures of what it is, and I want to see exactly what that, because the can is still up there,
Okay.
that was involved, and
Okay.
it's in decent shape.
Okay.
He said the bag was a little bit melted, but whatever was on top of it was the item that was involved.
Okay.
So I want to look at that and see what it is.
Were you able to get those pictures uploaded?
No, I'm having difficulty. This is the number, same number here, 833.
Piece of paper, Dennis?
There you go.
So, what are you trying to write down?
I was just trying to send it via text. When I tapped upload, it didn't do anything for me.
So, then we go to
camera. And then it's supposed to pop up here, but it's not doing it.
I think you're taking pictures right now.
Yeah, it's going to the wrong screen. There's usually a circle right there that has my pictures. So that's why I was going to try to send it to the number itself. In a text.
There we go.
There you go.
So, this one?
This one?
No. God dang it. I uploaded one already. So which one is that? I uploaded one.
these two.
So how's Tim treating you, Adam?
Alright, I think I
How's Tim
got them
treating you?
all.
Your new inspector?
Good.
Good.
Alright, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Dennis, so everything you collected from that room that will be in that bag, correct? Okay, thank you.
Two individual bags that
Well,
Well, we'll bring it up and
Do you want me to send your link to an email or?
yeah, send it to the one on my business card right
Okay.
on the bottom.
Alright.
I'm gonna have to figure out, this is gonna take me a while. It's 117 clips.
Huh.
You're working tomorrow, Adam?
I'll be in all week.
What time do you come in?
I'm usually here about 5:30. I'll be here as long as whatever.
It looks like my Monday I've got absolutely nothing, so if
Okay.
you've got a particular time you want me to swing by, I'll bring my hard drive and
Whenever. What works for you?
I come in by 7 a.m., so
Want to do 8?
you wait.
Let's do 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Right here?
Yep.
My number? Yeah, so mine is, where my handwriting is, well, it's 769-6336. 608-769-6336.
I just sent that link to your email. If you can figure it out,
We'll get there.
that would be the ultimate best way to
Yeah,
preserve
just to
that.
dump them all right in there.
And if it doesn't work, I can upload them to the...
Well, we should, I mean, we'll try to do both ways anyway.
Okay. I think we had that set up with Tim a few months ago. So we're
Did-
sure.
Oh yeah, the O drive.
Yeah.
Getting the photos.
Yep, I
You
just
got
got
your
your
notes and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
One of them might be, looks like I'm taking a picture of that one corner.
Just send me everything you got, even if it's a
That's
duplicate.
everything that's
Yeah.
related.
Awesome, I appreciate it, thank you, sir. Yep, I got them. Thank you very much.
That's about all I had for questions for you.
Okay.
I think we'll, do we have people waiting out there?
Yep, one of the RAs are waiting for
I
us.
think we can talk to them and. if you wanna
Thank you,
chat a
Dennis.
little bit,
Just wait on
we'll go up after we're done
Oh,
talking
she
with
just
them.
said will BRB. I don't know what that means.
that.
We'll be right back.
Sorry, yes, I do know what that means. I don't know where they're going. I'll back to that. Say you're ready. I might do it in. Okay. I might be. I don't know what they're doing.
You got your computer in your office?
I do.
Because I'm gonna try to see if it's gonna go to mine.
See if what goes to.
All these clips, they're gonna go to this external hard drive.
Oh, sure.
does. I think that might take a while. It's working so far.
You had an officer on duty, don't you, Adam?
Yeah, I got Daryl here right now.
Okay. Alicia said someone is trying to get into buildings. So I just told her she needs to call campus.
Yeah, they can call campus.
And is security guard Caleb available?
No, he's actually at, he's interviewing this morning at Minnesota State Patrol right now.
Okay.
I tried calling his phone was on.
Would he be available tomorrow at 8?
We could call him.
See.
I'll get a hold of him tonight one way or another. Tell him we either gotta talk to him by the phone or he's gotta come in.
Yeah, because I'll need to get a written statement from him.
Okay.
You had his report.
Yup.
That'll work for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
come print them. Our printer system's down right now. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that
You got-
that report will work for as a written statement.
I
for
can
me.
email you guys a copy of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would.
That'll work?
Yeah. Then I guess we don't need him if he's.
I'll wait. I'm not gonna touch this till this is done because it's working. But after that, I'll email you.
Yep, my email is on my business card there. If you could email the report to me.
Well, I might want to talk to him a little bit about what he saw and where it was placed when he did when he extinguished the fire.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna need, we'll kind of recreate the scene and see what we got. But it shouldn't take too long.
You want one at a time, right?
Yep.
We're gonna do one at a time. I was sitting there, but you can sit wherever. I don't know.
What's your name?
Alicia.
Alicia. And is that spelled Aleisha?
Yes.
Middle initial M. Last name Mueller. You go to school here.
Yep.
You never served in the military. Let me look at my notes here for a second here. And so you were on duty last night, and you're aware that there was an incident in the lounge.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so we came through on our 2 a.m. rounds.
Who's we?
Me and the other RA Riley. She did the first floor in the port, and then I did the third floor and the second floor. Because normally at night we split, which hindsight now, so we split, and I went through 3, and then I went down to 2, and I went through the bathroom, came around the corner, and I didn't see anything. The door was open, the lights are on, but that's not abnormal when people come home from parties, and you should open it on all the time.
The lounge door?
Yeah.
The lounge door was open,
Yeah.
and the lights were on,
Yes.
and you didn't see anybody in there?
No. No, I looked, so I didn't stop and go around the corner into the kitchen. I just didn't see anybody at the table. I didn't see anybody on the couches.
Is it possible somebody was in there that you didn't see?
It's possible if they were like in the kitchen area, because the way the lounge is, like if you don't go in and look around, like there's just like a corner that.
Was there any sounds coming from the,
No.
any smells coming from the lounge? What time was this at,
Oh,
that you checked the lounge?
I don't know the exact time. It was somewhere between 2 and 2:15 in the morning.
Okay.
So then we left Marion and we went over to Laverna. And then on our way back from Laverna for rounds, the alarm started going off and we were like right around the corner here. So then I looked up and I could see like flickering, so I came around the corner and I could see more flickering, so I went around the corner, and that's when I ran to campus safety, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the second floor.
But you had checked the second and the fourth, and then Riley checked.
The second and the third, and Riley did one and the fourth.
Oh, I see. Did you see any students during your rounds?
Not during the 2 a.m. ones, not until after the alarm started going off.
So,
was a car parked out in front though, that had students in it, but I'm pretty sure they were just coming back from a party or something.
okay. And when you went to investigate the flashing lights and the alarm, what did you find?
I stayed outside. I just assumed it was on fire. I told Caleb when he came around the corner that Marion too had like, it was orange and flickering like crazy, like it wasn't the alarms. It looked like that's where the fire was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just told him that, and then I went down by the elevator to like make sure students were actually going to like the designated fire spot.
Okay. So after you left the building after your checks, you didn't re-enter the building?
No. And
So you said orange and flickering. Do you think that you were actually seeing the fire or an alarm?
definitely the fire. It was not the alarm. Like the alarms are like short white, and this was like orange constant. Like that's why I didn't go in, is because it looked bigger than it apparently was. But
So you could actually see the light from the
yeah,
fire.
it was all like glowing orange on the ceiling and stuff.
Wow. Okay.
You could see it a little bit, and that's when I was like, oh, and I came around the corner and you could see more of it through this window.
So you didn't enter the lounge at all?
No, I didn't go in and check.
Did you put anything in the trash in the lounge at all? Okay. Do you have any other questions for her? I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, free to go.
Please do not discuss this investigation with any of your friends or on social media, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're good.
Yay! Getting so much
We're gonna
experience
stop
talking to
being
the
like
police
this,
this
right?
year. Thanks, Queen. Riley. What if I called you the Riley? Instead of
Okay, hello, I'm Officer Holocross Police. So Riley, are you an RA here?
Yes.
What's your local address? Where do you live?
Like at home?
Like right now, where's your address? Okay. And you go to school here? No military service at all? So obviously you're aware we're investigating an incident that happened last night. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so, we were walking back from Laverna back to the student union, and we heard the fire alarms go off. So we needed to walk around the building this way, and that's where we saw like the orange flickering in the lounge area too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and when's the last time you were in that lounge?
I was not in there at the 2 a.m. rounds. That was Alicia. I was there at the 12 a.m. rounds. It's around 12:15.
Yep. Okay. So at 12 a.m. when you checked the lounge, was there anybody in there?
No.
Did you see anything suspicious in there?
No, the whole entire night up to that, like, we barely saw anyone. It was very quiet. There wasn't people walking around or anything. Maybe a couple people in the bathrooms here and there. Otherwise, no one that I can remember being in any of the lounges anywhere.
Did you smell anything in the lounge?
No,
Did you put anything in the trash can in the lounge?
no.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for her?
No.
I appreciate your help here. Make sure that you don't discuss this ongoing investigation with any of your friends or on social media, okay? I appreciate your help. Thank you.
I got it. Enjoy the rest of your own call shift.
Thanks.
Bye, Riley. Thank you.
Bye.
So, I'm gonna go. Maybe I already have one. Yeah, I do. All right. Yeah, we can interview Victoria now.
Adam, have you seen her out? Because Mass is at 11, and she usually goes to Mass, but you haven't seen her walk.
I've
have
not
you?
seen her walk by yet.
Okay.
So you don't think she's in her room right now?
No, if Adam hasn't seen her walk by, like
I
that's
think
where
that
Mass
she's
is.
down at the chapel right now in Mass.
So if she's not in her room, that's probably where she goes to the chapel. But that wraps up. It's only an hour service. It goes from 11. So if she's not in her room now, she should be within the next hour. Also, like I have her phone number. Or I can look up her.
Can just me and you go up there? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah, I'll hang tight and then,
Yeah.
you guys are up there,
I
are
don't-
we good if, after a few minutes, are you gonna just interview her in her room?
I'm gonna try to interview her in her room up there. Just I want to get her initial statement and have her fill out a statement form before I start pressuring her
Okay.
on some of the things that would be inconsistent if she starts giving me
Are
inconsistencies.
you okay with me holding tight for a little bit and then following up to recreate
Yeah.
the scene?
Yeah,
So I can
Yeah,
interfere with anything
um,
you're doing?
We can go in her room and close her door.
yeah, that works too. We'll go in and close her.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of time, and then you can go on up there.
I'll come up with him a little bit later here. We'll give
Okay.
you a couple minutes.
Thank you.
If she's there.
Yeah.
All right. That will not work behind you. That's okay.
Okay.
Hi.
Margie, I think we've got some students here that,
Well, we need to talk to Victoria first by herself. I have a police officer with us.
yeah, we do have concerns with some students here that I can't answer and address. That
You Victoria? Can I come in and speak with you?
She's wearing a mask.
Oh, okay.
Can you address all these and just unlock to follow up with them?
Yeah, we'll talk after.
Can I
we go
come
to
in and speak with
Victoria.
you, or where would you like to talk?
I can come in with you if you want. So it's not just the two of you. Whatever you want.
Yeah, you should. My name is not.
No, I'm not going to judge you on how
Okay.
it's a college dorm room. I mean, I've seen it all. I'm Officer Howell, Lacrosse Police. Sorry, squeeze past you here.
It's not that bad. I've seen Victoria's.
I spoke with Officer Verdant and Officer Hughes about some of the past issues that have been going on here. It sounds like you've been the target of some disgusting behaviors and whatnot. So, can you tell me what happened last night?
Okay, so first off, it's weird because this fire started a few minutes after I left the lounge because I was eating and I had to go wash my hands. And I came back to my room and after some minutes, the fire alarm went off. And I'm like, did I leave something on? So I came out from my door and there was smoke everywhere. And I'm like, how is no one hearing the alarms and stuff? So I started knocking on people's doors. And it's kind of hard because it's the weekend and I don't know who's in. So I was like, I knocked on Claire's door and she came out. She helped me knock people's doors. There was literally a fire on our garbage can. And I was like, that is not me. That has nothing to do with me. So I tried to pull the thing. I think I broke it. I don't know. I was struggling with it.
That's how it
pulled
works. It breaks when you pull it.
Okay.
What do you mean it had nothing to do with you?
Because, I was in the lounge for a few minutes washing my hands and I came out and then all of a sudden there's a fire alarm.
But you didn't put anything in the
No,
in the trash.
I couldn't think.
Okay. What time do you think this was at?
I done
How long? So you were just in the lounge washing your hands?
Yeah, you can check the cameras. I was in the lounge.
Okay. How long do you think you were in the lounge for?
Just a few seconds. Wash my hands. It doesn't take that long.
And then you ate in here
Yeah, I was eating
because you were eating. What did you have to eat?
spaghetti
Oh, I love spaghetti.
and stew. There are many stews in my fridge right now. You want to see it?
And stew?
Yeah. Nigerian stew.
Make it from scratch.
What is the difference between Nigerian stew and what I would recognize as stew?
I'll show you. This is downstairs.
So what's in there?
Spicy.
It's
I love spicy food.
Yeah. Like so many Nigerian spices, I really don't know how to explain. But it's nothing like American stew stuff.
I always have to add a lot of spices to my food. So give me a rough estimate of what time this happened.
I mean, if we all got out here at like 2, it should be at like 1, right? I don't know.
What'd you do last night? Like, did you go out with friends at all, or?
Yeah.
Okay. What time did you? So you got back here around 2?
12. No, it was like 12.
So you were out with friends, and then you got back here around 12. Okay. And then what did you do after you got back around 12?
I went to Claire's room to stay for a minute, and then came back here to warm up my spaghetti to eat.
So you visited with Claire. You said for a minute. What does that mean? Like an actual minute, or?
That I just talked to her, told her that I'm back. Yeah. So
For like how long do you think?
I don't know, that is a lot of math. But I really don't know.
Okay. And then you came back to your room and started heating up your food. You have a microwave in here, or what?
No, I didn't heat it up. It was just warm because it wasn't that hot.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get it. And then it's washing.
Okay. So you started eating your food. So you said you washed your hands before you started eating?
No, I washed after eating.
So you washed your hands, and then after you got done eating, you went to wash your hands real quick. Did you go anywhere else at all?
No.
So you just ran to the lounge to wash your hands. You were just in there for the amount of time it takes to wash hands. Sorry, I need to be thorough, obviously.
Yeah, I understand.
So what time is this now, when you went to go wash your hands in the lounge?
I don't know.
Did you see anybody else in the lounge?
No.
Did you see anybody else in the hallways during this time period?
I don't think so. Or probably someone. I really don't know.
Well, no one that stuck out to you.
Yeah. There's a camera. Please check it. I really don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll get into looking into that camera stuff later. That stuff, checking camera, that takes time. So, kind of first steps is just getting initial statement from people that, I mean, you found the fire, you pulled the alarm, you helped a lot of people get out of the building. So, we appreciate that service. So yeah, the fire alarm, the little stick broke on it when you pull. Yeah, they're designed to do that. And no, it's designed to break. It's designed to break. So we appreciate you pulling. That's the proper time to pull a fire alarm. So after washing your hands, you came back in here, and then what happened?
And then after some minutes, I heard the thing go off.
You heard what thing go off?
The loud thing, the thing that goes down.
Oh, the smoke detector?
Yeah.
That one? Okay.
Yeah, it was loud.
This smoke detector?
Yeah. Not my room, the one in the lounge.
Okay, so you heard the smoke detector in the lounge.
Yeah.
And how much time do you think that was between when you washed your hands and when you heard the smoke detector?
That was after some minutes.
After what?
Few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I heard it, and I was like, do I get up? Do I not get up? You know. Then I opened my door, there was smoke. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I looked in the lounge, there was fire. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I knocked on Ari's door. Guess she was not there, so I started knocking on doors. No one like answered me. And I was like, oh, Claire. So I knocked on her door. She got up, she opened the door, she looked at me. I was like, there's a fire, there's a fire. And then she ran out. And I was knocking on people's doors, no one was answering. I just struggled with the fire alarm for a second.
So where was the fire?
In the lounge.
Like where in the lounge?
By the garbage cans.
Yeah. Did you put anything in the garbage cans?
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tissue.
What?
A tissue.
A tissue?
Yeah.
From washing your hands?
Yeah.
Okay. When you put the tissue in the garbage can, did you notice anything else in the garbage can?
No.
That would have
Now
drawn.
that I think about it, there might have been something in there, maybe.
Like what?
I don't know because, like I said, this happened a few minutes after I left the lab. So this.
You think somebody went in there? You think somebody would have had the opportunity to go in there after you?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Okay, so what'd you do after you pulled the fire alarm?
I ran downstairs.
Okay. So you said you were knocking on people's doors. Is that before or after you pulled the alarm?
That was before I pulled it out.
And you got Claire.
It's funny because Claire is in every single situation.
Soul sisters, right?
So we're really just trying to find like who would have started the fire. So if you would have seen anybody out in the hallways,
Yeah,
like you seem to be in the best position to see who would have done this.
Yeah. So
That's why I'm so interested in the timeline and what you have to say is because you probably just missed whoever did this by a few seconds. There was no one else in the hallway.
and if there was smoke in there when I got it, I would have stopped it, right? Or the thing that got on if I was in there. But the thing happened the minute after some minutes I left that place.
It happened a few minutes after
Yeah.
you left.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, I have a statement form here. Would you be willing to fill that out?
Just like the one we did when your door got written on the first time.
Okay.
Did you write one for that incident as well?
I'm glad to see you're still here. I didn't forget you yesterday.
Yeah, because I was contemplating on if I should go sleep in a whole different place. I was scared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I ended up taking a claim.
Do you think that you've been a target of something here? Do you think somebody's purposely started this fire?
I don't know. Because if it is, then I really don't know.
Okay. Do you have anybody in mind that would have started this fire intentionally? Any suspects?
Intentionally? No. Because this is the time where everybody is nice, right? I really don't know who's behind the mask being mean, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the statement form. You have a desk here. You want to just quickly fill that out? Do you need a pen?
Yeah, I have a pen.
Everything that you've told me, if you could describe what you've told me there,
Okay.
you can sit down and take your time with it. I don't mind waiting around
Okay.
and hanging out with you. It's nice weather to have the windows open.
Did you want to see the lounge where it happened?
Yeah, that would be
You
good.
can do that in the Victoria lawn, and I'll chat with these folks in the hallway while you peek into the lounge. You're gonna need 5. My
Hello.
key is this one. Hi. This key will get you into the lounge. Victoria, when you're done, just let me know, okay? Hi.
Have we used like cameras and stuff?
They're in the process of doing it right now. Yes.
How long does that usually take?
Get that door. Yep, sorry.
No, I was just looking at the angles.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I didn't know idea. I've been kind of busy before, but Adam came in today. I got the safety in the office today. He came in just and then had the fire extinguisher to the right. Yeah, but
garbage can.
Who that was.
It's laying, see there's still some trash here.
Okay.
And it's kind of laying.
Looks like all those videos are gonna download. It was at like 98%. So
Download to where?
my external hard drive downstairs,
Okay.
and then after that, I'll start fishing them into that link.
Victoria's saying that she washed her hands in here and then threw a napkin in the trash. Didn't smell anything, didn't see anything suspicious in the trash, didn't see anybody else in here, didn't see anybody else in the hallways. She's filling out a statement for me right now.
Okay. So I'm gonna remove this bag here. I want to put this one back.
Do I? Are those? Did you get your keys back?
I did.
Okay.
Thanks for telling me. How do you decide it was intentional? Like,
Yeah.
is it just by like the evidence, or is it gonna be the person you talk to?
Yeah, that's,
Okay,
I'm not
I'll ask
gonna-
you. So how do you know? How can you tell if this was intentional or not?
Well, once we've done a complete, thorough investigation, we look at the totality of the circumstances, that is statements, video surveillance, evidence, and we look at the totality of all that together to determine if there's probable cause to charge somebody who may have intentionally started it. Could also be an accident. That's what we also have to figure out. A lot of these things are accidents, and especially in a trash can, and then
No, like
It was like
the
our
alarms
lounge.
in the halls weren't going off.
There was some beeping. This is so I live in right
she
there.
had to pull the alarm.
I live right there in 221. I heard thing beeping. I thought it was my shut with my earbuds. I used to hear it. I smell smoke. I wake her up.
Yep.
And the big alarm
If
went
she
off.
didn't pull the alarm, none of us would have known anything was going on.
That's good to know.
Like, we had to like be knocking
And
on
everyone
the
was
people's
saying
doors.
he was there because like I think college was not here for the weekend or something.
Yep. Nope. She took the weekend off.
I was like, and that's also very skeptical that if someone knew that she was gone and knew there wasn't going to be like,
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys know she was gone? Like, is that common knowledge on the floor?
No, I mean, but sometimes like we could just tell, like, cause,
yeah,
like,
we'll see her
usually,
leave, and we did see her
Yeah.
tabs on the
Or
RA.
like,
Well, I have classes like with
No, you're good. I'm
and
just
stuff like
teasing you.
that. Yeah, I know.
or like if
neighbors.
other RAs were to know that she'd be gone.
And
That's
like,
what we're
and because
wondering.
RAs
RAs
have
have
access to everything.
I gotta go for that. Considering we're still investigating the hate crimes alone,
And they,
I hear what you're saying.
I don't want
RAs
to put these together, but like the way this is all looking, like the doors here, fire here, there was a death threat the last week. So like we
Yes.
have to be open to that too.
If it makes you feel any better, based on camera footage, there has not been an RA near any of those spaces when anything has happened. Except for this one, because obviously RAs did rounds right before, I would assume. It happened around 2 I a.m. talked to the RAs that were on rounds after. Yeah, but they have not been, the times that like the writing on the door has happened, there haven't been RAs around. So, there's that. But, that being
I
said,
just know what like ignited the fire though.
that's
like,
what I
that's what they're looking into.
We heard
No idea.
beeping from outside, so it sounded like they were going off on another floor or on in another
So
building.
when she would have pulled that, they should have gone off in the whole building.
But before ours
There was a
were
small, slight beeping because that's
There
what
was
made me take
beeping.
my headphones out.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, wait, that's not my movie. That's an alarm.
Right.
And I was like, Rudy.
So
wake
when,
up."
no, like before ours were going off, there was another alarm going off somewhere because I could hear it from my window. But
Interesting.
ours was not going off. When the boys blew up your microwave last semester,
That's
did
what
the alarms go
happened.
off?
No,
No.
it was just our floor. Like our floor was the only floor that evacuated, and even Kelly was like, "What's going on? Like we're the only ones out here."
Right, because the alarms didn't go
Didn't
off in
go
your
off.
building. Right.
No.
Okay.
So like we have to think like the only way that would have happened is if we intentionally did it, but we just thought like we all assumed that like if ours went off, like theirs would go off too.
Right. So when the boys blew up your microwave, was just that little one in there beeping, or
Yes.
the strobe lights weren't going off?
No, the strobe lights were not going on because I literally was in the shower and I walked out and it was just like that beeping.
Okay.
There were people in Marion one that like slept through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're still in
Like
the
our
building
friends
while
like didn't wake up from that.
Hello. You all done? Radical.
Did you get that? Here, I can come back in here. I want to just go over it with you real quick.
Adam is also in the lounge. If you have more questions that I can answer. Did you pull your desk out to write on it? I love that.
Teamwork work.
No, that's all good.
I was literally about to start eating.
Sorry.
The kid knocking on the door.
What is there for food in the caf today?
Pancakes and eggs. Same old thing.
Same old, right? Yeah.
Okay. Can you fill out this information down here and sign that? And you can just use my binder here. I just need you to fill out this information and sign it.
Is my parents gonna hear about this? Because I
Well,
literally
just that there was a fire in your dorm?
There's probably going to be a university communication.
there's gonna be a lot of trouble with my parents.
Well, unless
Why
we...
didn't they come to get you this weekend?
Because I convinced them not to. I really need to finish my classes
Oh, okay. I was just
in
wondering.
person. So, is this my house address or like the school?
It would be the school address.
Thank you. I was just having a look in there. I noticed that so now I kind of understand. When you went in there to wash your hands, you would have thrown your tissue away on your way out because you're passing the trash can.
Yeah.
Did you go anywhere else besides washing your hands in there? No. You just went in there once to wash your hands? So from the time that you returned back here, around midnight, the only place you had gone was to visit Claire, your room to eat, and to wash hands in there, and then back to your room. There was nowhere else that you went.
No, I don't think so.
No. And you only were in there once.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you use the bathroom at all? You didn't go to the bathroom during that time period?
I think so. I don't know. Yeah.
When did you use the bathroom?
At night, like I always do. I don't know.
Well,
Or if it was before or after you ate.
I think no, that was before I ate.
so before you ate, you used the bathroom, and then you came in here and you ate, and then after you're done eating, you wash your hands. Just one trip, and then back. Okay. So we were able to review the surveillance video. It shows that you were in there 2 times immediately before coming out and pulling the alarm. Can you tell me what you were doing in there?
Twice.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what you were doing in there?
I don't remember. Twice. Like before the fire. Because I went there to wash my hands. And then came back out to sleep. Like, is this at different times or it's the same time?
I just want you to make sure that you get this right.
Yeah.
And that you don't lie to me what happened.
I'm not lying.
Okay? Because if knowingly providing a police officer with false information, that's falsifying a police report, right?
Right.
Those are criminal charges. So we have reviewed the video surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
We do know what happened here based on the video surveillance in the lounge and the video surveillance in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Did you know those cameras?
Of course. I asked them to put it there.
Okay. Based on what he's telling me is you knew about the cameras in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know about the cameras in the lounge that had just been put in.
There was a camera in the lounge?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, and I've seen the video. Do you want to start over
Start with what?
with what actually happened?
I'm confused.
So, I've seen the video from inside the lounge. of what actually happened in there. I want you to be honest with me about what actually happened. I don't want you to get caught up with falsifying a police report.
Yeah. Cause
So what actually happened in that lounge, let's get it right now. Let's be honest with what happened. Let's not falsify a police report, and let's be truthful about what's going on here. I'm letting you start over from the beginning. Tell me what actually happened.
okay. Let me think here. Because I've been in the lounge twice. Can I see the video? Because I really don't remember what happened.
Well, that video would be available for an open records request. But you'd have to do that at a later date and time. We can't show you the video right now because it's being processed. It's being saved to our evidentiary files. So I need you to be honest with me about what happened, because so far you've provided me with a false police report.
Oh my god. Okay.
Because, I mean, I have a signed written statement by you about going in there to wash your hands. You didn't mention anything else about what else you did in there. So let's be honest here. Let's be a little bit truthful. Are you going to speak for yourself, or are you going to let the facts speak for you?
Okay.
You know, it's time to kind of take accountability and take responsibility here.
Okay.
What actually happened?
Can I talk to Margaret for a second?
Right now I'm doing this investigation.
I know. I'll talk to you after I talk to you.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Because right now I have probable cause to believe that you've provided me with a false police report. And I'm giving you the opportunity to come clean.
I know that's what I want to do, but I want to talk to her first because I need to ask her a question.
I'm probably not going to be able to answer it.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to talk at all. I'm just here to be a witness and a support system.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So let's be honest about what happened here.
Alright. Well, yesterday, and I feel like anyone was listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, after our service Saturday, I saw Glenna. She didn't talk to me or anything, so I was like, okay, so no one is listening to me, like, know where I'm coming from. So I went out with my friends and came back. And after I spoke to my parents, and they were like, you need to come back, and I told them I needed to finish my classes in person.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was like, I give up on you, but,
Your parents said that?
Yeah.
That must have been hard to hear.
Yeah, so she was like, you know what, it's your life, I abandoned you, I'm done with you, and stuff like that. And my phone isn't working right, so she texted to Claire first.
Yeah.
And
She
Claire,
texted about to Claire?
yeah, because I gave her Claire's number because my phone is just not working right.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, and she texted Claire, and it hurts because Claire saw it first before me, so Claire took a screenshot and sent it to me.
So did you purposely start this fire or accident?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it was accidentally because I turned on the gas. I was thinking about it, and I went to pee while I turned it on, and then I was gonna go back to my room, but then I remembered that the thing was still on.
The gas?
Yeah, so I went back.
What do you mean the gas?
The stove.
It's a gas stove in there?
It's an electric top, yeah.
Yeah. So I went back to turn it off, and there was like stuff on it, so I used the tissue to like clean it. And I guess I forgot that it was still on, and I threw it in the trash can.
So like it was actively burning when you put it in the trash?
No, like I think it was just the ashes and stuff that I threw in there. And then we caused the fire.
So you heated up your food in this pot.
No, I didn't do anything. I just went up there because I was thinking about it. Turned up the stove thingy, and I really had to pee. Then I went to pee. I went back in there. That's this wise you're talking about. And then turned it off. And then I used the toilet tissue
The tissue?
to clean off the thing. And, you know, have the red thing is there. So I just found a little bit and threw it in there. And I guess it didn't turn off quite. So I thought it was going to turn off, so.
I mean, you're telling me that this was a complete accident, but just watching the video with your body language and the way that you're looking around, it looked like you were looking for, even before you started the fire, it looked like you were looking to make sure that the RA had passed your door already and looking around for
I
witnesses.
didn't even know there was an RA or anything. I know I was looking around because I wanted to actually start a fire. Then I turned on the thing, and then I went to pee, and then I came back and I was like...
So let me get this straight. You left the tissue paper on top of the stove. What was your plan when you decided that you wanted to start a fire, but then you decided against it? What was your plan on how you were going to start that fire?
That's the thing. I was thinking about it. I was looking around, like, what should I put on fire and stuff like that. And, you know, I wasn't thinking straight. I went to pee. I came back. I was like, this is not working. I turned off the stove and then used the thing to, like, clean it off. It was actually a tissue paper from the garbage can because I pulled out something from the garbage can.
So the T-shirt came out of the garbage can?
Yeah, because there was no...
So you pulled the tissue out of the garbage can, put it on the stove, turned on the stove full blast.
No, I didn't turn it on. Should I show you how it works?
I know they're working in there right now.
Okay. You turn it on, and then after some minutes, it turns red. It's not actual fire.
Yes.
So, I turned it off.
But you went to the bathroom first.
Oh yeah, I went to the bathroom first. I came back.
Did you leave something on the stovetop when you went to the bathroom? It sounded like you said that you left the tissue on there.
No, I came
Because the
back-
tissue was on there for quite a while you were not in there.
Huh?
The tissue.
No, I came back, pulled out something from the garbage can to clean it off, found a little bit, and put it into the thing, the garbage can.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Okay. So I'm confused. So you wanted to start a fire, and you went in there looking. You were looking around, making sure that there was no witnesses and that you were looking for things to burn. Correct? I'm right so far. And then you went into the lounge, and you pulled tissue out of the trash can. Correct? And you thought, I'm going to burn this. Is that correct?
No.
No. Why did you pull tissues out of the trash can?
To clean it off because there was stuff on it that was still burning.
There was stuff burning on the stove?
What was burning on the stove?
I don't know. There was stuff on it, so I tried to clean it off because of smoke. I didn't want smoke to like...
What kind of stuff was it? Was it old food, papers?
Probably, I don't know. So I turned it off to clean it off, and then I threw it in. After I found it a little bit, I threw it in the trash can. I guess that started the fire.
Okay, so I'm starting over again. You went into the lounge. You're the one who turned on the stove, right? And then you left to go to the bathroom while the stove was on. What was on the stove? Like, you just turned the stove on?
Yeah.
And there was nothing on the stovetop?
Yeah. You can, there was a camera, right? You should see that. There's nothing on the stove.
I'm trying to get this from you.
Yeah. There's nothing on
Okay.
the stove.
So what started on fire?
The tissue.
The tissue that you pulled out to wipe off
Yeah.
because it was smoking?
Yeah.
Okay, so you left the stove on, you went to the bathroom, you came back, it was smoking, so you grabbed a tissue out of the trash, wiped the smoke away, fanned it a little bit, because at this time you said that you did not want to start a fire anymore.
Yeah.
And you put it in the trash, and then you came in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else happen that I'm going to have to now bring up?
No, did I get that
your parents said that they didn't.
No, just because I felt like no one was listening to me anymore.
No one was listening to you anymore. So do you think that your goal when you said that you were going to make a fire, do you think that causing a fire would create people to listen to you again?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Yeah. How would that make people listen to you again?
You know, I really don't even know. I just thought if I start a fire, something might go on. So, I really don't know. It's not something I planned through, it's just happened.
Yeah. So you started the oven, left to go to the bathroom. Then you shut the oven off. And cleaned the oven's top was smoking. There were no flames.
No.
And you think it was like old food on there that was smoking? Why did you fan it?
Because I think fire was coming up, so I just did it.
So it was on fire.
The tissue, yeah.
The tissue was on fire, and you fanned it out,
Yeah.
and then, okay. And then when you returned to your room, you just kind of thought the fire was out until you heard the smoke detector going off in there. And then you went and pulled the alarm. I appreciate you being honest with us about this, because what could have happened, right? If there wasn't cameras that caught this, and we're chasing our tails, accusing people of starting a fire, and...
No, to be honest, I was gonna go talk to Adam first, because I went to his office and I was like, oh, it's probably Sunday. It's not there. So I was gonna go tell him that this is all me. Until before these guys came and knocked on my door. Then you guys came, I'm like, okay, this got way too serious. So I was like, I was hoping you guys would like get up like that, then I can go talk to Adam first. But
I understand a person's want and desire to be listened to and heard, but this was an inappropriate way of going about that. You understand that? Okay. Do you have any other thoughts or questions or statements for me?
no, just gonna get in trouble now.
Well, there's probably going to be some repercussions for your actions here because this was inappropriate, but you'll work through that. Life's not over. This is just a bump in the road. You made a mistake. Life continues, and you learn from your mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna talk with the fire investigator over here, and just fill him in on the information, and we'll keep you in the loop. I don't believe you're gonna be going to jail or anything like that, but I'll be back to talk to you in a little bit. Okay? All right.
I will, if you would like to wait in the hallway for me, or the stairs or whatever, I'll be right out.
Okay.
Or this one.
Are they went back down to the office there? Okay.
Last one you just showed us was before. Not the super blurry one.
She said she's gonna be right out. Is that what she said?
Yes. Yeah.
So, what do you think of that? Oh, what?
Sorry, that door's not quite closed. There you go. Maybe. Sorry. She said she's gonna tell her friends.
That's good.
Are they back in here?
So, after my interview with her, I used tactful deception, and I told her that there was a security camera inside the lounge. And she confessed. She said that she thought no one was listening to her anymore. And she admitted to intentionally starting a fire, saying, quote, "I just thought if I start a fire, something might go wrong." She said that, to kind of lay out the timeline, parents say to her,
It sounds like, Mom wanted to come get her. It sounds like she said, absolutely not, I'm not coming home. Mom basically disowned her via Claire.
yeah. So then she decided to start this fire. She went into the lounge. She turned on the oven, is what she said. She said she didn't put anything on the oven surface, which I don't believe. But she said she turned on the oven surface and then went to the bathroom for a little bit. When she came back from the bathroom, the top of the oven was smoking with leftover like food debris or something that was smoking. She grabbed a tissue out of the trash can to clean off the top of the oven. She said the tissue started on fire. She waved out the tissue and then threw it in the trash and then went back to her room. Because she had decided she didn't want to start a fire anymore.
Okay.
So that's why she cleaned that up. She said she went back to her room until she heard the fire alarm going off.
Fire alarm or the smoke detector?
No, she
Smoke
said,
alarm.
sorry, the smoke alarm in the lobby, the lounge.
Yeah.
Just that smoke alarm was going off.
Okay.
And all the other students are up there pissed off about how come our alarms weren't going off, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure it's just a localized smoke alarm.
It's a single smoke alarm. They do have a pull station alarm that activates the building. Because that was my question. It's like in the video, I didn't hear anything. And I checked the battery worked, and the alarm worked, and it was engaged. And the manager thought that it wasn't. And I'm like, well, either it's a bad sensor, or it should have been going off.
So she said that she heard the alarm going off, and then looked out of her door, and she saw the smoke, saw the flames, and that's when she started knocking on everybody's door. No one was answering their door, so she pulled the alarm and then left the building. So, I mean, I feel like based on her statement, I'll probably charge her with arson, mishandling burning materials.
Yeah, improper burning materials.
And I
call my boss back over so he's in my movie?
Yeah. And I'm going to call my supervisor. He doesn't know this yet.
Okay.
I just wanted to talk to him about appropriate charges. I don't think I'm going to do falsifying a police report anymore since she came clean eventually.
That makes sense.
She did fill out a statement of her lie.
Can you come over?
Let me call Chief Snyder.
Okay.
Being that he's in charge of all the fire investigators, to make sure that he doesn't want anything specific charged.
So would you guys do those charges, like the arson charge, or would we?
You guys can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. You probably have more strength coming from you guys.
Yeah. Hey, Sarge, it's Hal. So I just concluded my interview with the suspect here. I got her to admit that she felt like no one was listening to her anymore, and that she said that she started the fire intentionally, and she said, quote, "I just thought if I start a fire, something might go wrong," end quote.
Hey, I'm sitting here with Officer
Yep.
we actually...
We're going to do arson and mishandling of burning materials. Yeah, I'll do a SIG bond. Can you think of any other charges?
I could tell you the details when you get home and everything, but we need to get a confession for potentially starting a fire. So
Yeah.
I want to charge for arson.
Awesome. All right.
Burning materials.
Yeah, thank you.
Other charges that you
Yeah,
need
bye-bye.
to see on this. Okay. Not very much. Basically, those are good, just
The arson and mishandling improper.
burning materials, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, Malin, Unanka.
Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah.
Are you guys finished with me?
That's the maintenance guy, we don't need him anymore.
I don't need him.
You're good to go home, Dennis. If they have any question about your overtime, Rick Traitley approved it.
Yeah. Oh,
Great, thank you.
We so many things, yeah, I'll give you a call on the beats and you, just give me a call when you get home. I think we're gonna be taking care of
I kept trash, also stuff. I'm not sure if you're gonna need that for evidence.
Do you collect evidence or?
Yeah. Typically we've had you guys do it since you guys are better at collecting it than we are.
Let me know. You can finish your phone call. So I've just concluded my interview with her. I used an interview technique called tactful deception, and I told her that we had a surveillance camera in the lounge.
All right, yeah, we'll touch base.
Upon hearing that news, she confessed, and she said that she felt like people were not listening to her anymore, and she felt like her parents had disowned her. She admitted to starting the fire intentionally, and she said, quote, "I just thought if I start a fire, something might go wrong," end quote. She said halfway through intentionally starting the fire, she decided against it and tried to put the fire out, and she waved out a tissue that she had used to try to clean up the top. She said she used a stove top. She said while trying to clean up the stove top, the tissue started on fire. She waved out the flames and threw it into the trash and then retreated to her room. So we're going to have charges on her of arson and mishandling of burning materials. I'm going to be placing her under arrest and releasing her immediately with a signature bond. So she's not going to be going to jail or anything like that, but she will technically be placed under arrest and released.
Okay.
Any questions
Are you
with
gonna
that?
take her down at least to the station first?
No.
Okay.
Is that something that you would want, or?
Well, I'm trying to give us a little space and time to do some administrative action we're gonna need to do to immediately place her on a temporary suspension and get her out of there. To protect her safety, and obviously we can't have an arsonist in our building.
Well, the public obviously doesn't know that she has admitted to intentionally starting this. She said she's going to tell her friends.
Well, after you left the room, I said, "What happens next?" I asked if she was okay, and I said, "What happens next?" And she was like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "There's a hallway full of people who love you that think that they're all going to die because there's a racist trying to build a burning down." And she said, "I don't want to tell them." And I said, "What's it going to look like if I tell them?" And then she said, "Okay, I'm going to tell them." So I don't know if she actually did or not, but I would hope that she would.
Yeah. I mean, we're still gonna get her out of here until our judicial process is done, and then of course the legal process that you guys are gonna do.
Well, let me go out to my squad and draft this signature bond.
Okay.
I'm going to do that paperwork with her, and then as far as the law goes, she will be free to leave from my custody. So whatever you guys want to take for administrative punishment or whatever, that's up to you guys at that point.
I just can't leave her in the buildings.
No.
Knowing she's an arsonist.
Yep.
Could have had 25 students die last night.
Yes.
So, we're not playing around with her.
Well, I know, I'm not sure what you guys' process is, but we can, when I do my origin and cause report, that will be available through open records. So you can't call the fire department and say, "Hey, once we get this, can you get a copy of the origin and cause report?"
My report will also be open records, as well as this video of this conversation we're having right now.
All my pictures will be in the record, so.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Anything else? Any other comments? We're not thinking
Is
about
there
it.
certain pieces of evidence that you would like me to collect that you feel are important for a successful prosecution?
Well, you'll have, within there's the plastic container. Because I went through the garbage, I didn't find anything. Just that plastic container, it's got the bird food and the food tray. and then I didn't cut open the vacuum bag to see anything. But that's where the fire occurred. So based on the security guard statement, what they found, our guys, what we found,
Yeah.
that would have been the garbage can. But if it's a burning tissue, that was consumed in fire.
Yeah.
There's no smoking gun, if you will.
I would prefer not to collect any messy, charred debris unless you feel it's important to show
There's
some
nothing
evidentiary value.
That's nothing that's going to demonstrate, this is what happened. It's
just a bunch of
container
burnt
and
debris. Then I'm not going to collect it. We've photographed it. That's thorough enough.
That's good for me.
Okay. I will go get that paperwork and I'll head back up there and I will conduct that arrest.
Do you need me for anything else, Officer?
No, I appreciate your help.
Yeah, I'll run back to the office, I'll upload this, and then I'll send you an email with where it is, and we'll drive either today or tomorrow.
That sounds good.
And then if I can get a copy of your report,
Yes.
once it's
Tell her to
completed,
hold on
I'll have a copy of ours.
Yep, will do.
Thank you.
Yeah. How you doing, sir? $94.
94.
I guess you can make this call type a fire as well. We're going to use the PD case number for this.
Dispatch update. Dispatch update.
I'm stopping my body-worn camera to call another officer to discuss unrelated matters.